by today. We announced something together.
We did.
Which is really exciting for us because we're going to be able to bring a whole new level of predictive analytics, statistical analytics, and you go real deep in this. So what I want you to talk about is kind of how you see us working together and kind of some of this, you know, you're obviously deep in the stats and the math and so forth. And there's not a lot of that in this industry. So talk a little bit about that.
Great. And first of all, I am really excited about this, burgeoning partnership with Orbee, one of the leaders. Your award here. Congratulations.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
On customer data. And Anderson Economic Group has been experts in the auto dealer world for over 2 decades. My dad was an auto dealer. His dad was an auto dealer. I grew up knowing this industry. And now, as ever, interacting with that customer is so important. But now we have all this electronic data, and unfortunately, a lot of what...
I love how you call it electronic data.
Yeah.
Don't say facsimile, okay?
Right. I dialed it up on my rotary phone. I heard a recording. But we have this data, and what we hope to bring to Orbee customers is that next generation of predictive analytics, where you're literally looking around the corner.
Yeah.
Where you're saying not just what's obvious right now, but what's probably going to happen 3 months and 6 months from now.
And that's with using the entirety of the data set.
Right.
Not just one measurement, but anything you could get a hold of historically and in real time.
That's part of what's really exciting here, because all the work we've done with this particular patented technologies involve, data that's quarterly or annually or
oh, we're going to change all that, right?
We're going to be able to be getting stuff that's right now, and you put these things together, and part of what we've developed with the Anderson Economic Group and with Support Intelligence, who we've invested in, is patented technology that takes all that. What should you do in the future?
Yes.
And what should you do now, knowing things are going to change?
And that means, how do you communicate with this one-to-one relationship, but also what are some macro changes that a dealership can make, right? Because you could take all of that data and say, we might be doing our whole operations wrong, right? At the wrong channel, the wrong method. Would you say that could?
Sometimes that's what, if you look at this, it's different than the traditional methods. And you could have some things that by and large work, but you're turning off some customers by bothering them, and you're ignoring people that are not buying today, but they sure are in 3 months.
Yes.
And so this is like, you actually, in some cases, you use these kind of methods, you reduce your promotional expenditures, and you target better to people who actually want it.
I love talking to you. It's like I learned great messaging the way you explain it. And I think data in this sort of market, and you just came to NADA after how many years?
It's 15 years. First
15
time I met
years,
NADA.
and you came for us? That's honored.
And of course, I love the auto dealers, and they're all excited.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
yeah.
A lot of change. But when I look at what's happening with data and so forth, I'm learning a lot around what can be done with this, right? So we've accumulated all this data for our dealers in their own first-party system. And now I start to think, if we're just going to do basic segmentation, is that really enough? And you're bringing a new level that is kind of, it's going to talk to an audience of the statisticians, the deeper kind of strategic planning folks, but then is going to take all that analytical work and make it actionable in the Orbee platform so that they can actually use that information and say, all right, who are we going to email today? Who are we going to personalize the experience today? And what offer goes into it?
Exactly. Yeah, and we're starting on this. We're going to be, hopefully we're going to get some people that want to be early, way ahead of everybody else, and do stuff that's not being done now. Especially, I'll say, and you can see it out here with the advent of the EV marketplace. These buyers are not going to be doing exactly the same thing. Their cycle's not going to be the same.
Every dealer is going to be unique.
Right.
One size can't fit all.
That's right. And the part of this is you make use of multiple dimensions of information, and then you decide what's best, not just today or this month, but what's going to maximize the value of that customer relationship over the next 6 months, a year, or more.
Well, for a second, talk about AEG's traditional business, what you've been doing for dealers, because I think that's actually an important piece of why this is important.
I'm glad you asked. The Anderson Economic Group has been consultants to auto dealers now for over 20 years. We do the local market analysis, their local trade area, and their competitive analysis, help them decide where to locate.
So that's like before anything, you're already there helping dealers.
We're already there. I mean, basically all the auto dealers here, we're seeing lots of clients and folks. And sometimes when they're in trouble, I mean, they come to us for expert testimony.
Okay, gotcha. With industry and legislation and so forth.
I mean, there's a good number of dealers out here that basically, not just because of me, but because of people myself and some of the other work that was done 10 years ago after the bankruptcy of General Motors. I mean, that Section 747 law means that a lot of these people out there, a lot of those are our clients.
Wow, that's incredible.
And it actually was a memo from us to one of our dealer clients that helped spur Congress to take action.
Wow.
Because we said, look, this is crazy to terminate this guy that's selling so many cars.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it? And Congress said, yeah, why are you doing it?
So your data and your work is already used for these very critical sort of macro level analysis, and now you're able to take it down to the individual customer and what those dealers should do.
That's the promise, I think, here. So we're going to be able to do that in a way that if you hired us on a consulting basis, there's no way we could spend enough time.
Yeah.
But if we have the data and we spend it and we model it right, then we're going to be able to get way ahead of the game with a large number of customers.
Right, and everyone who uses Orbee or has heard of it, we're trying to make it easy to literally click a button and say, I want this capability, and that's the goal. And we're excited to make this accessible to every dealer. I think large dealer groups should especially reach out to us to learn more, and you're probably already working or have worked with AEG before. So thanks for joining.
All right.
Again, excited about the partnership, all right?
Great.